as we kick off another round here in Merchant of Venus. Blue slowly making their way down. They're carrying some nines. They're heading down, I guess, to here. Just, it's tough to find a route that works often, and a couple of people had got in trouble. Yellow ended up drifting down here. They're near where they want to go. White, I don't know what they did. They sold their goods, but didn't get very far. Red got kind of caught in the bad terrain, just as some other people had before. Black's making some exchanges here. They sold and then bought up some Volsilk. They're short on cash. They would have liked to have gotten the last Volsilk there. They couldn't afford it, even after selling. And now, well, where do they want to drop that? They could shoot across here. They got plenty of shielding and sell it up here. Or they could try their chances cutting down this way. That doesn't look very valuable. They could take advantage of the 1 to 3 route down here to pick up an extra thing, but it looks like they're going to head up here and start playing in the same area green's in right now. And speaking of green, well, they're heading down to pick up some of the Psychotic Sculptures, drop them here, and then head back with their trade and continuing their little cute route. Not a lot more excitement changing here. Yellow dropped into here finally. They will be able to make their sale. They bought a new thing, a new little station. Green bought a station down here. This is kind of a risky one because they've been using this route. One of the things you can worry about, nobody's ready to take advantage of it, but sometimes when you build a station like this on a route that other people are kind of starting to notice and challenge, they might run in and do what you want to do before you do and grab all your stuff. I think that's kind of what happened, where was it, over here to White. It didn't really. Red was already on planet. White was foolish not to buy materials. But, well, they were foolish to be where they were is really what it comes down to. But there can be conditions where you buy a space station, and by taking that action and the next turn, you know, not picking something up right away, although usually you're selling when you buy a station, you allow somebody else a chance to slip in faster than they would otherwise. Otherwise, they'd have to land, sell, and then buy, and it would take 2 turns. Now they can just slip in ahead of you where you're timed, you know, where you've just built them a station, sell all their stuff, and buy all the stuff out from under your nose while you're, you know, still doing business on planet or whatever, waiting to get your chance to jump up. Alright, back around. And blue kind of played conservatively in order to avoid just that kind of jump in here, say by green. Even though green has no holds full, they'll be jumping up and buying their Psychotic Sculptures this turn. Blue bought a space station, but they're not using it. They dumped, I don't know, close to $600 worth of stuff and then bought about that much, including the station, but call it $400 outside of that, in materials transferring. They want the $200 because, hey, I may need this later, and it's just the money. I got tons of money right now with what I'm shifting. He's just going to shift back into this way, running the 1 out here, and then he's got the 4 run running up here. There's a decent stack of rock videos. None of this is demanded anywhere, but that's okay. He has trouble getting very far with his runs. He can't take advantage of these big demand things like where there's Space Spice here. Nobody's touching that. There's a couple of places where a decent amount of demand, Space Spice down here too, but nobody's going up there. Eventually, someone will be near there and say, whoa, I can make a really good run. But right now, the opportunities just are in the wrong places. But for him, he's just making these humongous hauls where nobody else is really active, or he's getting the first jump in. And it looks like he's got a nice setup up there with his freighter. Now he's hauling this fare around for no real reason. He just bought a shield that I should put on his ship. He's been paying penalties for flying through bad terrain. He's got the red drive that allows him to skip some of them, but he had to pay this one. But yeah, when you can get that freighter to actually haul a full load regularly, the game starts to look like it's going to end real fast. Well, the Eeps use this telegate to jump up here and get stuck there. That's putting them real close to 2. They've got a fare to 2. They've got stuff that's under double demand there that they can make some cash off of. And then there's a huge pile of space spice, which, if I remember correctly, there are places with a lot of demand for it. So it might, they figured it's worth trying to get down there and run that run. That put Red in this position where they said, yeah, you know, that's kind of interesting. I got some of these designer jeans. Maybe that would be worthwhile. What I'm going to do, actually, is I'm going to use my jump start. And I call that out because if I roll a 3, I can jump right here and sell things. And if I don't, well, we'll see what happens. But this is one of the places where jump start sucks. If you don't roll anything that can be used for navigation, you don't have to jump it. But I think if you get any navigation that works, and in this case they got a bunch of 4s, you got to take it. So their first move is going to be a 1 into there, and that gives them kind of a tricky position because this isn't the easiest place that I can tell to get to some place a 9 can get to. Autopilot can't help them here. They're trying to get rid of a 9. They can kind of sail up to here, but then they shift into there if they don't stop, and that's not terribly good. So I got to think a little on them. And Red ended up finding their way up here from that jump gate, curving around this way actually. Now they got a possible route there with a 3, but they got to make their decision. Do they go this way or this way? With 4 dice, they got a pretty good chance of getting a 3. Getting through here, they only have 1 shield, so they'd be paying $30 if they take that route. So I think they're going to chance the cheaper route into Graw next turn. Black, well, they're trying to head out to here. And then green shot across from here, hauling some stuff from the Kwassoth, and made a good delivery, 500 and something at their own location, then bought some stuff. But now they got kind of a tricky situation. I bought because, what the hell, if I'm going to stop here, the other option would have been to try to find somewhere else, like up here, to sell my goods, and then follow this route that black and yellow are taking. That's almost always a losing proposition, to be the last guy onto a route. So playing around down here looks kind of good, but I've got a 1. If I go to the telegate, I could maybe get into Dell. There are 4 or 5 could get me there, could get me up to Graw, could get me to a few places. So I think I'm going to probably jump out of here and give up this area. It's kind of a shame because this is nice. I've got a lot of my own infrastructure here that gives me bonuses, but you know, you got to give up on a route when it starts getting too thin. And now the great problem of the big old slow freighter. Blue starts out here. He declares he wants his first move to be into this telegate space. Well, he rolls a pair of 4s. The only place he can move is into here. Now, here's what's weird. He can stop here because there's a station there, but he has to move on his first move, and then he has to kind of follow it. So he's got 1, 2. That stops him here, unless he wants to pay $20. He has a shield. Then he could go 3, 4, and onward from there. Given where he is, it may be best to stay here because he could get here where he could sell the stuff. That's not optimal for him by any means. He really wanted to go here where there's a pile of immortal grease. The problem with here is there's only 1 thing for sale there. He does get a bonus on some of the finest dust, but where does he go next? Well, maybe he'll be able to cut over there and grab that. Alternatively, he could shoot down this way and hope for another pass at this, picking stuff up there. But then once he gets there, yeah, I think he's going to try that 4, right? 1, 2, 3. 3, 4, 5. Oh, he's got a red drive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's a long trip, though. But at least then he has the shot of getting back up to the Eat Beeps with that 6 run. And that looks more promising than trying to come out of here, because he's got a very low chance of making it there. Big problem with those huge ships. Okay, slipping along. Yellow moved to here, whipping around, getting close to their destination. That meant black much later on. Went in here, and instead of buying a port where they would lose a demand marker to yellow if they did that, or maybe to red, although it looks like only to yellow, they ended up selling the commodity matching that demand marker. They still have other stuff to do there, but they were also able to, because it doesn't count as a normal action, grab a fare to the base. That's a quick $150 there that they might as well take. And they're also going to be able to then sell their stuff and grab most of the Melf pelts before yellow gets there. If they had built the spaceport there, well, they'd make less off of this turn. Of course, that probably means yellow will build that spaceport and take advantage of it. Elsewhere are the Eeps. I don't know where they went. Looks like they landed up there. They did this spaceport build. A lot of people are interested in this location, but nobody's really close to it. Red got lost trying to make it there and has ended up over here, much as blue is lost where they are. Dealing with that cloud is really tough. Green, on the other hand, jumped into the cloud using the telegate because it was the quickest place they could sell this. They kind of wanted to fly over here, but they didn't have enough movement to make a landing here. They were way over here. They don't have a very fast ship. And I think they're going to stick around, even though they did all their business there that they want to, and buy themselves a transport ship. They're flying with a three dice anyway right now. Being able to grab more stuff over with the Impossible Furniture, for example, that they can then haul maybe down to here, that makes sense to me. They've been kind of flying with the least ship out of everyone in the game for a while, and I think they do want to upgrade. Blue goes for the craziness once again. Remember, they have a fare going to here. So they jumped into this telegate when they got a number that would help them. Now, they were much of the way to here, but they're taking another shot at hitting the 5 area because they can sell their goods there, there's a demand there, but most importantly, they can get rid of their fare there and do some other stuff. I don't know how great an idea it all is. They may want to actually cut back their ship at some point, too. Alrighty. Not sure quite where we were. Blue, I don't know if I spoke to. I think I did, that they telegated back up here to try another pass through. Yellow went in, built themselves their base. White utilized their base to sell. Bought some space spice. There's 4 demands for space spice. That means that stuff's up 160 per. That makes this a really good profit. You're making 210 for the first one, and then the next one, another 200. Well, not quite. In profit, $40 less. 170. So you're making a lot of money off of a couple of things, but it's a long trip there. And there aren't really jump routes that are going to help too much. There's the possibility that this telegate could work, but how do you get here on a 6? He doesn't have the relics that allow him to do that. He could gate lock it, but that doesn't really help. So, I don't know there. Red. Getting ready to land their jeans up here. Black finished up their transfers. Bought up this stuff. They're planning on going to the galactic base, then over to their home planet. And green, indeed, spent another round, picked up a finest dust that showed up there. And they also picked up a bigger ship, and for the first time, a laser. Do they want to fight? I don't know. It's $100. You know, that cuts into your chances of winning. But once you start building up some weaponry, you can start getting options that other players don't have. See, here's the thing. When you fly by somebody's pawn, you can shoot it. You can't get hurt doing that. And if you do it with a laser, it's all for your good. So a laser's kind of cool for like some flyby piracy. You might get a bonus. You might get something to fill your hold with. You might be able to shoot something off the other guy's hull. You know, it's just a way of giving yourself a slight advantage on everyone. But once somebody buys one of these, everybody else starts thinking, yeah, you know, the hell with him. Jump to Blue's turn. They ended up going not where they planned. They skimmed around this way instead, just because of their die rolls. But they managed to make a big sale, $250. And now they were going to hold off, because, hey, there's 3 demands for Immortal Grace here. It's right down here. I can just run down and run back. But then, maybe I can't. Green's sitting here. Now, this is where playing solitaire really kind of hurts me. Whether or not Green will remember this, but because I'm talking about it, they probably will. On their turn, they were planning on going to the base for $180, but this load of Immortal Grease is worth a lot more than that. Especially now that the demand just went up again. So they do have a reason to notice it. They have the switch. They have a good chance of making it through this quickly. Well, actually, of making it out of this in the right direction. And that base fare doesn't make a lot of sense to them. They were planning on hauling the dust up here for a single demand, but I think they may go for this. At which point Blue starts, once Green starts looking there, Blue starts saying, oh, all right, do I want to just buy these servo mechanisms that are a reasonable profit on their own, because I will not be able to haul 4 Immortal Grease up to where there's 3 demand markers. I don't know. Green is almost certainly going to be able to buy these all up and get there quicker than I will. So I think Blue is going to go about buying these and try to haul these, because they see they're too slow. Now, alternatively, they could get a faster ship, but Green is too close. They're going to make it. So, Yellow made its delivery and pickup. White made it all the way down to here. They're almost there. They found a means of slipping through that was fairly easy. I don't remember. I think it was just cutting down through here somehow. The dice came up well for them, and they got the shortcut. And that's sweet, because they're almost at this space spice. Red's sitting on the same stuff, picking up space spice, but this is far away. This is close, and it'll have as many demands as the white one, as the humans will have. Less goods available for purchase, but enough for them to haul, and nobody else seems to be down there. So, hey, this may be the time to do a quick run from here, or maybe open this back up if it starts looking healthy again. Certainly the psychotic sculptures are a good deal. It's just, where do you deliver them? Well, you can deliver them back here and then head back up. I don't know. Talked about red briefly. Black got a crap roll, and they didn't even make it to the base where they want to drop off their fare. Green made it here. They ran there, even though Blue stuck around, is still there, and is building up other things. And Green thinks, well, I could have stuck around another turn, picked up another $40 in profit. But, or actually even better, this dribble glass, which would be $80 in profit. But it's just not worth wasting a turn for that, especially when there's something kind of risky. Now, in order to fill up their load, they had to ditch this fare. It doesn't just sit around here waiting for another ship, which I think is kind of funny. When you ditch a fare, it should probably just stay on the board, because it's partially been delivered. But instead, a new counter comes out. I always thought about optioning that out. And we got some more servos here, which is kind of weird. Blue is almost certainly going to stick around to pick up those last two. They got room in their hold for them. It's worth pausing a turn with their slow ship. They were actually considering getting a faster ship, except where they're planning on going, there's a whole load of valuable stuff that they can grab. So they need a lot of cash to run their strategy. Big ship getting big expensive things. That's one thing I ought to check. Make sure I have. I don't think I have enough cash. It's going to be close to buy both of those. But I'm not in a great rush, and picking those up seems worthwhile. I'm going to have to also pay to get through here unless I get very lucky with this die roll.